Hi there, and welcome to Graham's Guide Friday Live, this Friday, the 10th of December. Today we're going to be looking at assignment 2, and this is my second part of my two-part, possibly three-part special on assignment 2. So I might do another part next week as well. Anyway, this second part, I'm going to be looking at, as you can see above, A2, which is short for assignment 2, structure, formatting, and presentation. So let's get straight into it. I'll go to the assignments. So clicking here on the assignments menu item and into A2. In the assignment details, if you've already gone in here and had a look, just below the case studies, there are 7 questions here that need to be completed. It says, having chosen your case study, you should complete the following and answer these 7 questions. Well, I'm going to show you how these 7 questions can be combined into 4 responses. If we go down to, what I'm going to do is combine questions 1 and 2 together as one response, and question 3 as a response unto its own, but questions 4 and 5 will be combined for a single response, and questions 6 and 7 will be combined for a single response. And this is just my suggestion, but I'll show you why I think this is one way of structuring your response to this question, this assignment. So if we go into assignment criteria, there are 4 major criteria. So this first criteria, worth 20%, asks you, is giving you marks for answering questions 1 and 2. The second criteria, worth 20%, is these are how you get marks awarded for answering question 3. And the third criteria, also worth 20%, is showing you how you can get marks for answering questions 4 and 5. And the last major criteria, 20%, is showing you how you can get marks for answering questions 6 and 7. So the criteria is sort of, for me, it guides the way I want to respond to this assignment. And I'm going to try and make that even clearer to you. I'm going to go into the assignment, into the discussions, because I've posted an image that sort of is a summary of what I've just said. And if what I've just said wasn't clear, hopefully this image will clear it up for you. So in the discussions, if you go into assignment 2 discussion and then scroll down, there's a link here to assignment 2 structure. And here you will see on the left those 7 questions, and here on the right those 4 marking criteria. So you can see that these first two questions, as I just said, relate to this marking criteria, and so on. So the other thing that I would note here is that there's a fairly even distribution of marks. So it's 20% for each of these major areas that need to be covered. So if it was me, I would split my word count up into these 4 areas. And so if it's like 1,500 words, I would divide that into, take off 150 words, say, for introduction and conclusion, 150 down to 1,200. So there's about 12 or 1,300 words available to you to be divided into 4. So 1,200 divided by 4 is, say, about 300 words for each section. So if it was me, I would be trying to respond to questions 1 and 2 in about 300 words or so. It might be a little bit more. Question 3, also about 300 words. And for each of these marking criteria, I would be giving them about 300 words each. You might you might massage that a little bit, like question 1, the first one might get a bit more than 300. If that's the case, well, then you might give a little bit less to your response to the second marking criteria. But that's just, a suggestion for how you might like to look at assignment 2 and start to make sense of how you're going to structure that to provide an answer that is an adequate response for those 7 questions. So the worst thing you can do is use too much of your word count on early on in your assignment and then not provide enough response to the last questions. So if you used all of your word count here and then you only had 50 words left and you tried to cover questions 6 and 7 with 50 words, you're going to get a very poor grade for that 4th marking criteria. So you need to budget your word count out to about 300 words or so for each of these marking criteria. If that's not making sense, ask a question here in the assignment 2 discussion and I'll be happy to go into more detail. So the other area I wanted to cover is formatting, and I have provided down here, just before I go further down, so here's some suggested sources that you might like to respond to those, use for those 4 sections that we just talked about. So for the first questions 1 and 2, you could cite a code of conduct or a code of ethics. For that second section on spoken and unspoken messages, I recommend you could cite the Baldovino video. I've also provided another piece of supporting evidence here. It's an article by Brown. So for section 3, my suggested source for the future work skills, actually I've talked about this before last week, so I'm not going to go into more detail here. And again, for section 4, there's I'm suggesting the code of ethics. I remember I've already covered this. Alrighty, but here's a link to all of the units references in APA and in Swinburne Harvard. So if you click on either of these, like if you click on the APA reference list, these are all of our references for this unit. So if you want to cite the future work skills, you could just copy and paste this into your reference list for APA style, provided it's correct, and it looks pretty good to me. So you don't have to worry about trying to work out how to format your reference. You could just copy and paste this into your reference list. But you should note the structure of the formatted reference, because you're not always going to have the reference available to copy and paste. Let me go to these templates now. So I provided a couple of templates here, or one template here, to help you with structure. But just today, when I went into the Student Hub, I saw they've also provided templates in there to help you with formatting and presentation. So mine here is, let me click on it and open it. So this is a suggested formatting and presentation. So, you know, at the top here, it has your student ID, your name, the unit, the title of the assignment, and the due date. I put here, you know, which case study that you're responding to, because that is very helpful for whoever's marking your assignment. We need to know which case study you're responding to. And then instead of writing the question, I've just put here section 1, identification of ethical problems and stakeholders and explanation of effects. So that doesn't really eat into my word count at all, and that's sufficient. Then my answer starts immediately and goes on until it finishes. And then the second answer, I've started on a new page. Well, that makes it easy for me to follow if that's the way you want to set it out. Answer, I've just called it section 2. You know, this is responding to question 3. And it goes on through. So you can see this is one way of formatting and presenting your response to those 4 sections. If you decide to go with my suggested structure, which you do not have to go with that structure. And then your references on a new page at the end of your document. But this is you know, the template that I've provided. If you go into the Student Hub, you'll find more information here. So this is the Student Hub. If you click on Study Resources and then scroll down a little to learn about academic writing, um, well, in essay writing, it'll talk to you about TEAL, which is the structure we like you to use for paragraphs. So even though this is talking about essay structure, assignment 2 isn't really an essay structure. You're actually providing short answers to questions. So, but even though it's not essay structure, you would still structure your paragraphs. Each paragraph should have a topic sentence, should then have evidence, explanation, and a linking sentence. Or a summary sentence. So you can still use this structure within a paragraph when you're responding to this assignment. But what I wanted to show you is, again, here in formatting and presentation, it shows you here that, the suggestion here is to use Arial or Times Roman, 12-point font. Make sure it's at least 1.5 spacing or preferably double spacing. All left aligned. And so this is the formatting that we want you to use in your assignment. Down the bottom here, this is all new. Well, it's new to me anyway. So they've provided that template that I provided in the assignment 2 discussion. They've provided templates here. So you can click on this and it will open up a template for you. And the same here with either of these. So that's really great resource. If you want more information about referencing, they've got a direct link here to the referencing section. So this will help you with your citing and referencing. The Student Hub has really grown. Like when I first started at Swinburne, there wasn't even a Student Hub available. With these study resources, the study resources were sort of ad hoc provided by the ELAs. Now it's all centralized, and the study resources in the Student Hub is a very strong resource. I highly recommend using the Student Hub. Alrighty, look, that's all I wanted to talk to you about today. Hopefully that's provided you with some practical guidance on assignment 2 structure, formatting, and presentation. For me, if you have any questions at all, please ask them in the assignment 2 discussion. I'll be happy to follow up there, where everyone will benefit from your question, the answer, and any other discussion that follows. Thanks for joining me today. Bye for now.